Hello and welcome to episode 587 of the Daily Sales Message podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple and actionable advice. It's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff too. Now, in today's episode, we're talking about things that build trust with your buyer, One of them really goes a long way. That's because it's hard to do. It's really, really hard to do. But if you can do it, it's irreplaceable and it makes a huge impact on your buyer. And I'm talking about consistency. For example, this is episode 587 of this podcast. There are 586 other episodes before this, and God knows how many I'll record after this, where I've committed to doing this on a consistent daily basis, and I've delivered. So I've said I'll do something, and then I've actually done it, and I've done it in great quantity. So you trust that tomorrow there'll probably be a new episode of the podcast because I do it every single day, and it's happened a few hundred days in a row up to this point. Same with my LinkedIn recommendations. I've got over 500 LinkedIn recommendations. So I've consistently performed for people, got great feedback, and I've managed to collect that. But consistency is the key. So whether it's showing up on social media, whether it's consistently getting new feedback and reviews and case studies, whether it's having a newsletter, whether it's being consistent in terms of keeping up the regular commitments that you have with your clients, there's a huge power in consistency and also in doing what you say you're going to do. Because unsurprisingly, that's how people feel like they can trust you. Because if you say you're going to do something and you do it on a regular basis, it really helps. And one of the big ones for me, of course, the podcast helps very well, but also just being there daily on social media and actually having my face visible on social media as much as possible, as odd as it is to say, that really helps because people see me, pictures of me, videos of me, they recognize me, they have a quote-unquote relationship with me, they see me on a daily basis. So some of these people I may never have actually spoken to at all or for a very long time, but because they see me every day on social media, there's a consistency there that builds trust. So if you want buyers to trust you and buy from you, do the things you say you're going to do, make commitments, stick with them. I generally kind of pinky promise people if I'm going to do something. That's how this podcast started. I met a guy and he said, you should probably have a podcast. And I explained the story where, I got the domain name back in 2019, but I didn't really do anything with it. And then I said, right, that's it. Pinky promise, I'm going to do it. And then started recording the episodes. And if you go all the way back to episode 1, you'll see the trailer for this was recorded in 2019 and the first episode happened, I think it was 2023 was the first episode that came out. But there's a 4-year gap, a huge gap, and that's because I committed to him, and since then I've stayed true to my word and I've been consistent. So consistency builds trust. How can you be consistent for your buyers, your potential buyers? How can you show them that they can trust you? That's the focus of today's episode. Right, that's it for this one. Tomorrow in episode 588, we're talking about a burden, something called the burden of proof. It's a legal terminology. I'll explain more about that in tomorrow's episode. If you haven't already, please hit the like or subscribe or share button or comment below. Wherever you're listening to the podcast or watching it, it just helps us to reach more people and tell the algorithms that people enjoy this kind of content. Thank you for your time and attention. I appreciate it. I'll catch you tomorrow. Of course I will. I'm going to be there for another edition of the Daily Sales Message.